there, and welcome. This is Cleo. She is Mother's cat, and she is now pretending that I don't exist. She's upset that I'm holding her. But I wanted to introduce her to you because today I want to talk a little bit about a pet incident. She's leaving now. So, it's Friday. I need to tell you an anomaly, and so there's all sorts of animal anomalies I could tell. I could tell you about kids who were at the military school who, because they weren't allowed to have pets, developed pets in some ways. There's the kid who kept his window open and fed birds like pigeons on his windowsill, and was caught doing that, trying to tame wild dove and pigeon. There were of course kids that smuggled in puppies and kittens, but they got caught pretty often. Some smuggled in other types of pets, but this story is actually about not at a boarding school. I had students working in a workshop setting for a big part of my career, and for those who've never worked in a workshop, it involves people being up. For the discussion that day, a certain student would be up to present writing to the class, and the class would comment on it, and then that person would talk about the inspiration. And I find this particular type of learning, when you're talking about writing, to be probably the most effective. Once a young person has gotten past the age of just creating written documents, there's nothing like a community to respond to that writing, to influence how it grows and is shaped into something greater. So I had been using that in the public school setting with my seniors for quite a while. One day a week was a workshop day, and people would be up and present their stuff. So for my seniors, one week, one of my seniors that was up decided to write about pets. And one of the pets he wrote about was a king snake. I believe that's the kind of pet it was. It was a snake that he had caught and raised, basically. And the writing was pretty good. The kids responded to it fairly well. We had the discussion and everything. And at the end of the workshop, we were all returning the desks to their normal positions, and I noticed that there was a head sticking out of his jacket, and I thought it was for a while there were costumes out where they had like plastic heads of things sticking out of people's shirts. It's kind of like a Halloween horror thing. Anyway, I noticed this head sticking out of his jacket, and I kind of laughed, ha ha, and then it stuck its tongue out. He had come to school and gone through the day carrying that snake around with him in his jacket. And nobody was aware of it, and the only reason I was aware of it was he let me be aware of it, because he let the snake, show itself at the end of the class. I said, please tell me you're going home after this. Which he was, thank goodness. Seniors sometimes have shortened days because they've completed their credits, so they can go home a little bit early. Oh, kids. I did feel for those kids at the military school, the boarding school where I taught, because many of them did have great affection for their own pets. And there was a time before I started working there that supposedly once a semester, the teachers would bring their pets to school so that the kids could have a little time with pets. But they stopped doing that before I got there. I imagine it was messy. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you have a lovely day. I know this is a short episode, but I promise there'll be some longer ones coming up. I hope you have, as I said, a lovely rest of the day, and I hope you see me again, you gorgeous people.